What's good, YouTube? If you love basketball, you have come to the right place. My name is Wiseman, and in today's video, I could not be more hyped to discuss the 2021 NBA Finals between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys all the critical information that you need to know heading into Tuesday night's matchup. Now, before we get into today's video, if you're as hyped as I am for this matchup, make sure to hit that like button down below and let me know in the comment section whether you think the Bucks are going to win or the Suns are going to win, and in how many games. Now, let's hop right into the analysis and prediction. Alright, the first thing I have for you guys is the 1v1 matchups. Alright, these are going to go crazy. Let's compare the Bucks starting five to the Phoenix Suns starting five and see how each guys can win their matchups. Starting at the point guard position, Jrue Holliday versus Chris Paul. Alright, Jrue Holliday is much larger than Chris Paul, so if he's going to win this matchup, he has to pick up Chris Paul full court and not let him get into rhythm and be the decision maker. Alright, we know that Chris Paul is a mastermind, so Jrue Holliday needs to get the ball out of his hands, because if CP3 has a lot of time and is allowed to get into rhythm and dictate the game, boy oh boy is it going to be a long series for the Bucks, or heck, even a short series, if you know what I mean. Now, for Chris Paul, he needs to be comfortable and get into his rhythm, because if he can dictate the pace, boy oh boy, like we said, this is going to be a tough one. But also look for Chris Paul to get his guys involved in transition early. Alright, CP3 loves to beat the other guys if they don't get back on defense. Chris Paul is going to burn your team. Alright, he's going to get into the heart of your paint, and he's going to kick out to his wide open shooters who are going to get in rhythm early. Now, the second matchup we have, in my opinion, at the 2 spot is going to be PJ Tucker versus D Book. All right, now a lot of people have been saying Middleton is going to be going against D Book. However, if I'm Budenhauser, I'm putting PJ on D Book, because D Book is a flamethrower and that boy has been going crazy, and PJ is the best equipped to stop him. All right. He is the Bucks' best defender, and he is very physical and quick laterally. All right, he needs to be extremely physical with D-Book, who is a rhythm guy who doesn't want to be getting touched a lot. All right, that is the key to slowing him down. All right, PJ Tucker, look for him to be fighting over screens and trying to get D-Book in foul trouble by getting a lot of charges drawn. All right, now D-Book, he has to just continue to fight around screens, use his screens, get his 3-ball in rhythm, because if D-Book is hitting from deep, boy oh boy, does his game just open up, and this guy can go crazy. He can go for a 30-piece or a 40-piece McNuggets meal any night. Now, the third matchup, which in my opinion might be the most critical matchup, is got to be Chris Middleton versus Miles Bridges. Now, why is this so critical? It's because Middleton needs to prove that he is the second banana to Giannis, and that he can go crazy in a series and be consistent. All right, Miles Bridges is a good player, but no offense, he should not be able to guard Middleton, and Middleton needs to make that known. All right, he needs to be an animal. He needs to average at least mid to high 20s in order for the Bucks to win. All right, he needs to go at Bridges and have faith in his jumper. All right, we know that if his jumper is hitting and he goes on fire, the Bucks are a different team. So he has to say, Bridges, you cannot guard me. I'm going ham. Let's get it. Now, Bridges needs to lock up as well as he can. Of course, though, the Suns are probably going to have to flash doubles at Middleton if he's balling like that. All right, now at the 4 spot, this is a crazy matchup. I'm really hoping Giannis is playing. However, if he isn't, it'll be Bobby Portis at the 4 versus Jay Crowder. Now, if it is Giannis, Giannis has to be the best player on the floor, and he has to absolutely dominate Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder is a great player. However, he's undersized, and he's just not at that Giannis level. All right, they call him the Greek Freak for a reason. Giannis needs to average at least a 30-point double-double, if not a mid-30-point double-double. All right, he needs to make his presence known, and he needs to make the Suns double him, because we know if the Suns double then he's going to have a wide open shooter, and that is the recipe for the Bucks to win the 2021 NBA Finals. Now, Bobby Portis, if he's playing, he needs to be the energy guy like we saw in the Hawks series, grabbing the boards and using his physical and presence to dominate Jay Crowder. However, on Jay Crowder's side, he is a great three-point specialist, so look for him to make a big impact with the three ball on offense. All right, he can go crazy, and if he can go for 4 or 5 threes, he can be the difference maker in a series. Now, lastly, at the 5 spot, we got two big boys in Lopez and Ayton. This one's going to be interesting. Lopez does play traditionally sometimes. However, he also is a stretch 5. So let's see if he can bring Ayton out by hitting his threes, because if Ayton's out of the paint, it creates so much more for Giannis to be able to slash through those lanes. However, Ayton has proved that he is a number 1 pick, and he has really shown out. So we shall see if he can average like 15 and 10 or 15 and 12. That will be a success for Ayton. And boy, oh boy, is he on his way to becoming an elite big man in the NBA. I know Chuck and Shaq are going to be going crazy at this matchup, so this one's going to be a good one. Now, let's take a look at some film while we talk about our second segment, which is the keys for success for both teams, starting with the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton need to expose Lopez and the Bucks bigs in the pick and roll. We saw Trae Young do it, and it is a recipe for success. Chris Paul is a killer in the pick and roll. If you guys want to know more about that, you can check out my film breakdown video on CP3. Now, they also need to win the three-point game. All right, they are a better three-point shooting team. They've been shooting 37% from 3 in the playoffs, and the Bucks have only been shooting 31%. So they need to win at what they're good at and what they're better at. Now, thirdly, the bench needs to step up. Cameron Payne, Cam Johnson, Saric, they are a better and more deep bench, so they need to win those minutes. All right, the bench can oftentimes be a difference maker in the finals, especially because they have a much deeper bench than the Bucks, because DiVincenzo is out, so they really need to win that matchup and give CP3 some time to rest as he is older. Now, D-Book needs to continue to torch. All right, this guy is the Suns' best offensive player, and he needs to make that known. All right, guys, when he's hitting, the entire team gets wide open looks because they have to double D-Book, just like Giannis, so he's going to be a massive key. Now, they also have to win in transition. We talked about CP3, dictating the pace, but if they can win in transition, they've got a bunch of young guys, and you can get D-Book easy looks in transition, and Ayton, they start feeling good, and they start rolling, and boy, oh boy, is that tough to stop. Now, lastly, they need to win the first 2 games. All right, the first 2 games are critical because I have a feeling Giannis might not be playing, but they also need to protect home court advantage, because if the Bucks can win 1 game, hey, they're going to be feeling good about winning 1 game, especially if Giannis isn't playing, so they need to win the first 2 games. Now, how do the Bucks win? All right, the Bucks need to do these things in order to win. They need to limit CP3's ability to dictate the game. All right, we know that CP3 is an absolute mastermind, and he is the Suns' engine. So whether this be, Drew Holliday picking him up full court, or them doubling him off the screen and roll game, they need to make sure they do not let CP3 get into rhythm, because boy, oh boy, if he starts feeling it and allowing him to get into rhythm and getting his guys wide open looks, it is going to be a tough one for the Bucks. Now, secondly, the Bucks need to win the glass. All right, they have been the best rebounding team in the entire playoffs, averaging 49.9 rebounds per game, and they need to be best at what they are good at. All right, thirdly, Middleton needs to show up and be elite. All right, he needs to have a very great series, and he needs to be consistent. We've seen him have a few games in the Brooklyn Nets series and the Atlanta Hawks series where he just doesn't seem to have it. He doesn't seem to show up. All right, he needs to be consistent and average in the mid-20s to high 20s if the Bucks want to win, especially if Giannis isn't there. Now, the Bucks need to come out with a ton of energy and focus every single game. All right, this starts at the top with Coach and Giannis Antetokounmpo. He needs to get his guys fired up and ready mentally. All right, they cannot have any brain farts, because Chris Paul, being the elite point guard he is, will pick them apart if they show any weakness. Now, of course, last but not least, Giannis needs to be that dude, all right? He needs to be the most dominant player in this series, and he needs to show up and average at least the mid-30 double-double, all right? He has to be the best player, and he needs to force the Suns to double him, because when he gets doubled, that's how the Bucks win, all right? He dishes to his wide-open shooters, and they get nice looks. This allows Middleton and Drew Holliday to go at it one-on-one and get in rhythm, and that is the key. All right, now moving on to the predictions. All right, both teams are well equipped to win the finals. However, can we get a drum roll, please? I've got the Phoenix Suns in 7, mainly because of that guy. You know who he is, Chris Paul. All right, the point guard. I think it's his time to win a finals. All right, they also have Devin Booker and Ayton, who are young, absolute killers, and I think that Chris Paul is going to continue to get the most out of those dudes. And of course, you have Jay Crowder, who is a seasoned veteran. I also think they have an amazing coaching staff, and I just think it's one of those years where a Phoenix Suns squad wins. They had an amazing regular season, however, no one talked about them winning the chip, and I think it's time for CP3 to get his comeuppance and become a top 5 point guard in the league, and it is going to be a good one, guys. But anyways, let me know in the comment section down below who you think is going to win and in how many games. Until next time, guys, though, this has been Wiseman from Better Through Ball. I really hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps support my channel, and hit the algorithm so that more people can see this video that I put a ton of work on. And of course, if you are a basketball junkie, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the finals. Peace.